Ladies and gentlemen, independence is one of the greatest treasures of life, and for seniors, it represents freedom, dignity, and control over daily living. Today, doctors are speaking about senior independence more than ever, not just as a medical concern, but as a cornerstone of healthy, fulfilling aging. This video explores the perspective of medical professionals who see independence as more than physical strength. It's about cognitive vitality, emotional balance, and meaningful connection. With practical insights and clear advice, doctors are showing how seniors can protect their autonomy, adapt to challenges, and embrace the future with confidence. Because independence isn't just about growing older. It's about continuing to live life on your own terms. Before we begin, if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any video. When most people hear the word independence, especially in the context of aging, their first thought often goes to physical ability, being able to walk without help, drive a car, or carry groceries up the stairs. But when doctors talk about independence, the definition stretches far beyond the physical. In fact, true independence is multidimensional. It's about how the body, the mind, and the heart work together to allow someone to live life on their own terms. Independence isn't measured by whether you can lift a heavy box. It's about whether you can make your own decisions, manage your daily routines, and maintain a sense of control over your future. Doctors often stress that independence has a strong cognitive dimension. Our memory, decision-making abilities, and awareness shape how we navigate daily life. Imagine someone who is physically fit but struggles with memory lapses that prevent them from remembering important medications or financial decisions. That person's independence may be more at risk than someone who walks with a cane but can still manage their affairs confidently. This is why doctors pay close attention not just to muscles and joints, but to the brain's sharpness. Independence thrives when the mind is active, engaged, and resilient. Emotional well-being is another essential part of independence. A person may be physically capable, yet if they struggle with deep loneliness, depression, or constant anxiety, their ability to live fully independent lives is compromised. Doctors see independence not as a cold checklist of what someone can do physically, but as a holistic state of being where emotional balance plays a critical role. For example, someone who feels hopeful, motivated, and connected to a purpose is far more likely to sustain independence than someone who feels isolated and powerless, even if their health conditions are similar. Social connection also cannot be overlooked. Human beings are not meant to live in isolation, and doctors know that seniors who maintain strong social ties are far better equipped to live independently. Whether it's chatting with neighbors, participating in community activities, or staying in touch with family, these interactions keep the mind sharp and the spirit strong. Independence, then, is not about living alone or refusing help. It's about staying engaged and feeling empowered within your community. One of the biggest myths doctors aim to dispel is the idea that independence equals perfection. Many people assume that if they can no longer run, drive, or do every household task without assistance, they've lost their independence. But doctors emphasize that independence isn't about being flawless. It's about agency. It's about making choices, setting routines, and maintaining as much control as possible over your own life. For instance, even if someone needs help with laundry or cooking, they can still decide what clothes to wear, what meals they enjoy, or how they want to spend their time. Independence doesn't vanish the moment support is introduced. It evolves into a balance between self-reliance and smart adaptation. Doctors are also trained to notice the early indicators that independence may be at risk. These signs are often subtle. A senior who once loved cooking no longer prepares meals. A normally social person avoids outings, or small lapses in memory begin to interfere with daily routines. Sometimes, even small changes in mobility, like walking slower, struggling with balance, or hesitating to climb stairs, can point to bigger challenges ahead. By identifying these early markers, doctors can step in with strategies, resources, or therapies that help seniors preserve their independence for much longer. Ultimately, the medical perspective on independence teaches us that it is not a rigid state but a dynamic balance of mind, body, and spirit. It is about giving seniors the dignity of choice, the strength of connection, and the confidence to live life on their own terms. And this is why doctors are speaking about senior independence more than ever. Because it is not only about extending years of life, but also about enriching the quality of those years with freedom, dignity, and self-determination. When doctors talk about independence, they don't just define it, they prescribe a roadmap for preserving it. Independence doesn't happen by chance. It is the result of intentional, proactive steps taken over years, sometimes decades. Think of it as building a foundation brick by brick, where each choice contributes to the strength and resilience of your future self. Doctors are very clear on one thing. Autonomy isn't something you suddenly fight for in your 70s. It's something you protect long before you need it. At the heart of this roadmap are what many physicians call the Big Three: lifestyle factors, diet, exercise, and sleep. These three non-negotiables are like the pillars holding up a house. If one cracks, the entire structure weakens. Diet matters because food is fuel, and the right fuel can either sharpen your body and mind or slowly deteriorate them. A balanced diet rich in vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains is not just about avoiding disease. It's about giving the body the energy to stay active, alert, and strong well into later years. Doctors often point to small, practical changes: swapping processed snacks for fresh fruit, staying hydrated, and moderating sugar and salt intake. These shifts may seem simple, but over time, they directly impact whether someone can maintain independence or become dependent on others. Exercise, the second pillar, is equally critical. Doctors aren't suggesting marathon runs at age 80, but they emphasize the power of consistent movement. Regular walking, light strength training, yoga, or swimming doesn't just build muscle. It protects balance, reduces the risk of falls, and keeps joints flexible. More importantly, exercise strengthens the cardiovascular system, delivering oxygen and nutrients that keep the brain sharp. Independence often comes down to small, everyday things, like being able to rise from a chair, climb a few steps, or carry groceries. Those abilities are protected by movement today. The third pillar, sleep, is often underestimated, yet doctors know its value cannot be overstated. Sleep isn't just rest, it's repair. During deep sleep, the brain clears toxins, stores memories, and restores emotional balance. Chronic sleep deprivation can speed up cognitive decline, lower immune function, and increase the risk of chronic diseases that steal independence. Prioritizing good sleep hygiene, consistent bedtimes, a quiet dark room, and limited caffeine pays enormous dividends for lifelong autonomy. But physical health alone doesn't tell the whole story. Doctors are raising their voices more than ever about brain health. Cognitive decline is one of the greatest threats to independence, and the good news is, it's not entirely out of our control. Doctors recommend lifelong learning, mental stimulation, and curiosity as daily medicine for the mind. Reading, solving puzzles, learning a new language, or even trying a new hobby all serve as workouts for the brain. Just as muscles atrophy when unused, so do neural pathways. By feeding the brain with challenges, variety, and stimulation, seniors can maintain clarity, memory, and decision-making power that keeps them firmly in the driver's seat of their own lives. Equally important are regular check-ups, but not in the old-fashioned sense of simply treating illnesses once they appear. Today's medical perspective reframes check-ups as proactive conversations about independence. Doctors now encourage screenings that catch conditions early, long before they threaten autonomy. They also discuss topics like fall prevention, home safety, and even future independence goals. It's no longer just about checking blood pressure or cholesterol. It's about asking, what matters most to you in maintaining your independence, and how can we safeguard that now? This forward-looking approach empowers seniors to make adjustments before problems escalate, extending their ability to live freely. Ultimately, doctors are not just telling seniors to survive, they're teaching them how to thrive. Independence is preserved through conscious choices, nourishing the body with the right foods, keeping it active with movement, restoring it with rest, engaging the brain with curiosity, and staying proactive with medical care. These are not small tips, they are lifelong strategies. And when embraced fully, they become the difference between merely growing older and truly growing stronger, wiser, and freer with each passing year. Independence is precious, but it's also dynamic. Doctors understand that as we age, there may come a time when independence doesn't look exactly the way it once did. This doesn't mean freedom is lost, rather, it evolves. The challenge lies in recognizing when independence begins to shift and knowing how to respond in a way that preserves safety, dignity, and self-respect. Doctors emphasize that acknowledging these changes isn't a sign of failure. It's a vital step in ensuring that seniors continue to live fulfilling lives on their own terms. From a medical standpoint, there are clear red flags that signal when independence may be at risk. One of the first signs is difficulty with daily tasks that were once routine. If cooking leads to burned meals, if laundry piles up because bending or lifting is too hard, or if missed bills point to memory lapses, these are not just inconveniences, they're warning signs. Mobility changes, like frequent trips or falls, are another serious indicator. Doctors also pay close attention to patterns. If someone consistently avoids bathing because they fear slipping, or if they stop socializing due to transportation struggles, it's a signal that professional input is needed. These aren't isolated issues, they're the body and mind's way of saying, something needs attention before independence slips further. But recognizing the signs is only half the battle. The harder part is the conversation that follows. Families and doctors alike know how sensitive discussions around independence can be. No one wants to feel like their freedom is being taken away. Doctors often advise approaching these conversations with compassion, respect, and collaboration. Instead of saying, "You can't do this anymore," a better approach is, "How can we make this easier and safer for you?" The goal is not to strip dignity but to reinforce it, by showing that support is not about control but about empowerment. In fact, doctors often remind families that most seniors don't fear aging itself as much as they fear losing choice. By framing support as a way to protect autonomy rather than take it away, these conversations can become less about loss and more about partnership. Thankfully, the medical community now has a wealth of adaptive solutions to recommend, tools and modifications that extend independent living without stripping away freedom. Technology, for instance, has become a powerful ally. Simple devices like medication reminders, fall detection sensors, and voice-activated assistants help seniors maintain daily routines with confidence. Video calls keep them socially connected, while health monitoring wearables allow doctors to track vital signs remotely, reducing the need for constant office visits. These innovations give seniors more control, not less. Home modifications are another area where doctors often guide families. Small changes, like grab bars in the bathroom, better lighting in hallways, or non-slip mats can make a world of difference in safety. For those with mobility issues, stairlifts, walk-in showers, or wider doorways can turn a potentially risky environment into a supportive one. Doctors frequently emphasize that these adjustments aren't about making a home look like a hospital. They're about creating a space where seniors can continue to thrive independently, with fewer risks and more peace of mind. The truth is, navigating shifts in independence doesn't mean surrendering freedom. It means adapting wisely. Doctors see it as a journey of evolution, not decline. With early recognition of red flags, compassionate conversations, and smart adaptive solutions, independence doesn't vanish. It transforms into something sustainable. By embracing change rather than resisting it, seniors can continue to live with dignity, safety, and self-determination, proving that independence is not a rigid state, but a resilient spirit that can adapt and endure. When doctors talk about independence in the senior years, they rarely frame it as a solo effort. Independence doesn't mean isolation. It means having the right balance of personal autonomy supported by a network of family, friends, and community. From a medical perspective, the support system is just as essential to independence as diet, exercise, or medication. Doctors see firsthand how strong support networks can help seniors thrive, while the absence of support can accelerate decline. That's why conversations about independence always include caregivers, communities, and loved ones who walk this journey alongside seniors. At the heart of this system are caregivers, whether they are family members, close friends, or professionals. Caregivers play a crucial role in maintaining a senior's independence by providing assistance in areas where support is needed while allowing the individual to retain control in others. But doctors are quick to highlight an often overlooked reality: caregiver burnout. Signs such as constant fatigue, irritability, or emotional withdrawal may mean a caregiver is carrying too much on their own. Doctors stress that supporting seniors must never come at the cost of a caregiver's health. That's why they encourage caregivers to seek respite care, join support groups, and make use of community resources. A caregiver who feels supported and healthy is far better able to help a senior maintain their independence. Doctors often remind families that caring for the caregiver is just as important as caring for the senior. Beyond individual caregivers, community integration is increasingly being recognized by doctors as a form of therapy in itself. Isolation is one of the greatest health risks for seniors, often linked to depression, cognitive decline, and even higher mortality rates. On the other hand, active social engagement has measurable benefits: lower stress levels, improved memory, and greater emotional resilience. Doctors frequently encourage seniors to participate in community centers, hobby groups, or volunteer activities. Even something as simple as a weekly gathering with neighbors can provide a sense of belonging and purpose. From a medical perspective, these interactions aren't nice to have extras. They're therapeutic tools that strengthen mental and physical health. Still, one of the most delicate balances in supporting independence lies in how families and friends offer help. Doctors often caution loved ones against stepping in too aggressively, as this can unintentionally strip away a senior's sense of control. Instead, the advice is to empower rather than overshadow. That could mean helping set up tools, like a pill organizer or transportation app, so the senior can manage tasks more easily on their own. Or it might involve offering choices instead of directives, such as asking, "Would you prefer to go to the park today or visit the library?" rather than deciding outright. Doctors emphasize that true support is not about doing everything for someone. It's about making sure they still have a voice in their own life. In many ways, doctors view family and community support as the scaffolding around independence. It doesn't replace the structure, but it strengthens it, allowing seniors to stand taller and steadier for longer. When caregivers are cared for, when communities welcome and engage seniors, and when families empower instead of control, independence doesn't fade, it flourishes. From a medical standpoint, the best path forward is clear. Seniors thrive most when surrounded by people who respect their autonomy, nurture their well-being, and create an environment where they feel safe, connected, and valued. This kind of support system isn't just helpful. It's vital to preserving independence in every stage of later life. When doctors look toward the future of senior health, one theme stands out more than any other: independence. Medical advancements are not only extending life expectancy, but they're also reshaping how seniors can live those years, with greater freedom, autonomy, and dignity than ever before. The future of independence isn't about simply surviving longer. It's about thriving in ways that past generations could only imagine. From telehealth breakthroughs to preventative medicine and new definitions of successful aging, doctors are painting a bold and hopeful picture of what lies ahead. One of the most transformative changes already underway is the rise of telehealth and remote monitoring. In the past, seniors often had to schedule multiple appointments, arrange transportation, and spend hours at clinics for routine care. Now, with telehealth, a doctor's visit can take place from the comfort of a living room. Video consultations allow seniors to stay on top of their health without the stress of travel, while remote monitoring devices track vital signs like heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar in real time. These devices can send alerts directly to doctors if something seems off, preventing emergencies before they happen. For seniors, this isn't just convenience, it's empowerment. They can manage chronic conditions more independently, remain in their homes longer, and maintain closer communication with healthcare providers. Doctors see telehealth not as a substitute for care, but as a revolutionary tool that preserves autonomy. Equally exciting is the next frontier of preventative medicine. Doctors know that independence often slips away not suddenly but gradually, as chronic conditions worsen or cognitive decline sets in. That's why the medical community is focusing heavily on delaying these changes through proactive care. Research into early interventions for Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia, for example, holds promise for preserving memory and decision, making power far longer. Advances in genetics and personalized medicine are also allowing doctors to predict risks for conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or osteoporosis with greater accuracy, enabling tailored lifestyle plans and treatments. The result is a shift from reacting to illness to preventing it, a change that directly safeguards independence. Doctors envision a future where routine care doesn't just add years to life, but actively delays the factors that threaten autonomy. Perhaps the most profound shift doctors anticipate is a redefinition of what successful aging means. For decades, aging has been measured in terms of avoiding disease or simply staying alive longer. Now, the vision is evolving. Successful aging is about living independently, engaged, and fulfilled. Medical advancements are making this vision realistic. From robotic assistants in the home to smart devices that simplify daily tasks, technology is blending seamlessly into senior living environments. Imagine refrigerators that remind you when food is expiring, medication dispensers that track adherence, or mobility aids that adjust to your needs automatically. These innovations aren't about taking over. They're about giving seniors more control, more confidence, and more choices. Doctors see this future not as distant science fiction, but as an emerging reality. Each breakthrough in telehealth, preventative medicine, and smart technology adds another layer of support that enhances, not diminishes, independence. The ultimate goal is a future where aging is not defined by decline, but by adaptability, strength, and freedom. A future where seniors don't just manage their later years, but embrace them fully, with the tools to stay in charge of their lives. In this evolving vision, independence is no longer something fragile to be protected at all costs. It is something actively nurtured and enhanced through medical innovation. And doctors are clear, this is not only possible, it is happening right now, shaping a tomorrow where seniors live not just longer, but stronger, freer, and more independently than ever before. Thank you